morning, everyone. Good morning, everyone. I would like to call this meeting to order. Thank you for joining us during our weekly virtual MS breakfast meeting. My name is Sandy Sen of Pinnacle Real Estate Group. A few housekeeping tips. All participants will be muted upon entry into the breakfast meeting. And so you had a question or comment, please enter it into the chat box. Please remember to join us weekly as we will have our virtual MOS breakfast meeting every Thursday at 9 a.m. As always, this meeting is being recorded and will be available online on our YouTube channel, Western Gabriel Valley Realtor. Please remember to follow WSGVR social media on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. You can also watch all our pre-recorded videos on YouTube. WSGVR introduced a new text message service. For update, please text WSGVR to the number 72772. A little bit about me. My name is Sandy Sen. I am the November MS Program Chair. Next, please. Today's agenda consists of our affiliate spotlight. John Wax, Snap NHD, followed by President Message by Manny Yang, WSGVR President, and our guest speakers, Maria Howard and Tony. Just a reminder that to be eligible for today's raffle, you must be a WSGVR member and your name must be displayed to win. No telephone number will be accepted. Today, our affiliate spotlights will be brought to you by the affiliate committee. The floor is yours, John.
Thank you, Sandy, and thank you to West San Gabriel Association of Realtors. I just want to say that for all the 20 plus years that I've been part of the West San Gabriel Association of Realtors, there's not been any more welcoming or friendly board of realtors to new and old members, and they do cherish and do support their affiliates, and I do appreciate that. A little bit about me. I am married. I have one son. My son is an honor student at Pierce College. I do have a 95-year-old dad, and he's going strong, World War II veteran, and he's doing well, thank you. And I have been in the business providing services to the real estate community in Southern California for over 26 years, educating, giving consultations to clients and to the real estate agents on anything that's in the reports. I do also want to let you know that for a little trivia, my wife and I were married in the mural room in the Santa Barbara County Courthouse by the presiding Judge Hill over 20 some odd years ago. And our audience was a tour group that came through. So that was kind of interesting. Also, I have been involved with many organizations. I'm an affiliate of the year 2009 for the Beverly Hills Board of Realtors, the oldest board in the country, and proudly honored to be in 2011 the affiliate of the year of Escrow Association of San Gabriel Valley. I love giving back to the community. I love being supportive of the real estate agents in completing their transactions. Our pricing is excellent. I'm not going to go into that. I thank you. I thank you for all your support in business for all these years. I look forward to continuing to do business with you. My information is in the chat and also on the screen. And if you have any questions with you or your clients, please reach out to me. Let's have a great meeting. I'm looking forward to another great affiliate panel. And I'm very excited about that. And I thank you. We have a challenging time, but we will get through this together. Thank you so much. Happy Thanksgiving.
Thank you, John. We will now have our top affiliate introduction for today. Please remember to support our affiliates with our transaction. Nancy Chen, lawyer title.
Good morning. Good job, John. Thank you, everybody, this is the best association. Everybody's so welcoming. I ditto to that. Thank you very much for your friendship and your support. And Thanksgiving is coming. That's why this is so important for me to thank you before the holidays. Nancy Chen, 35 years as a member of this association, 39 years in the business. I still love it. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Nancy Chan, lawyer's title.
Thank you, Nancy. Next, Mark Wu, Allstate Insurance. Hello, Mark.
Good morning, everyone. It's delightful to be able to just greet you this morning and participate. My name is Mark Wu. I've been an agency owner for 33 years in the San Gabriel Valley, servicing the community with their insurance needs. Wishing you all a happy Thanksgiving season, and I am as well greatly appreciative of the board.
Thank you, Mark. Next, Zulita Wu,
Uh,
Home Warranty of America.
Sandy, I can't find her. I don't think she's here. Move on.
Okay. Tom Singh, TJ Management LLC. Hello, Tom.
Hi, everybody. This is Tom Cheng from TJ Management. We help you and owners reduce headaches on your 1 to 40 residential properties. If you have any property management needs, feel free to call us. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Tom. Next, Sandy Francisco from First America Home Warranty. Hello, Sandy.
Sandy is not here. Move on.
Okay. Amy, Anita.
Oh, hello and good morning, everybody. Well, I cannot compete with the other members for being so long a member, but I really appreciate every meeting and all the kind people and such a goodwill. And John, this was a great introduction on your part. Thank you, guys. And if you need phase 1 or phase 2, you can find me. Thank you.
Thank you, Amy. Next will be stage comments, my NXT.
Good morning, everyone. Happy Thanksgiving. All I ask is that you keep me in mind for your natural hazard disclosures. And I think we're all very thankful for each other. This is a great group. So everyone have a great Thanksgiving.
Thanks, Stage. Next, please. Open pitching. We are happy to introduce open pitching to our virtual MS breakfast meeting. Let's get started. Today, our listing is presenting to you by listing agent Zhang Xing from Remax 1000.
Hello, everyone. Good morning. 1360. Oh, actually, no. Sorry, this is the at least 1200 Elm Avenue. It's located in San Gabriel. It is 2-bedroom, 2-bath, newly update. There's a dryer washer unit in the unit already. Okay, and it's asking for 2200 per month. Next one.
Thank you.
This one is 1360 North Michelinda, located in the north side of Acadia. It is in the Upper Rancho area. Beautiful home, has 5-bedroom and 4-bath. Also has the attached guest house with a 1-bedroom, 1 full bath, and a wet bar. There's a bonus room being used as a 1-bedroom and 1-bath as well. You can use it as a pool house. It's almost 3,400 living space, and the lot size is huge, 26,000 almost. Excellent Acadia School District. Okay, and the seller is very motivated. This one has been the price has been reduced earlier. This one is the land. It's in the city of 29 Palms. I'm not sure if you guys know where that is. It's in the desert pretty much. It's 10 acres of land. You can build tract homes. It is close to Highway 62. It's approximately almost hour and a half from here. It's only asking for 38,000. So any question, please give me a call. Thank you.
Thank you, Zing. Next personal message by Minnie Yang. Hello, Miss.
Thank you, Sandy. Thank you, Sandy. Good morning, WSGPR family and friends. I'm Mindy. For those who doesn't know who I am, it's an honor to be your president. Thank you for attending our weekly virtual MLS breakfast meetings, and we're always grateful for your continued support as a valuable member of West and Gabriel Valley Realtors. Please don't hesitate to reach out to our leadership team and staff. We're always here for you, especially during these unpredictable times. And I would like to wish everyone a happy Thanksgiving and be safe. And with that, I would like to share this with you. Gratitude unlocks the fullness of life. It turns what we have into enough and more. It turns denial into acceptance, chattels to order, confusions to clarity. It can turn a meal into a feast, a house into a home, a stranger into a friend. By Melody Beatty. I would like to share information that came out last week due to veterans, honoring our veterans from the Los Angeles County Assessors, Jeffrey Prang. So if you're a veteran, you can apply. Do you know that you can apply for veterans exemption for unmarried veterans with assets less than 5,000, married veterans with asset less than 10,000, their surviving spouse might apply for 4,000 exemptions on their property tax to reduce their annual property tax bill. And if you are disabled veterans, um, you also get additional exemptions available. And then, like if you're in the military service, you might be able to apply to be eligible for disabled veterans property tax exemption for up to 150,000 of the assessed value of your home. And the Veterans Administration must certify the veteran's disability, and married surviving spouse and their certain deceased veterans may also qualify. That's all the update I have this morning. I would like to thank our affiliate speakers today, Maria, Howard, and Tony Escamilla. Please remember, we don't have MLS breakfast meeting next Thursday. We go dark. Um, and then join us in December the 3rd at 9 a.m. Our guest speaker will be Liza Nagretti with California Association of Realtors, Vice President of Political Affairs. We will have additional information to you. That's all I have. Thank you, Sandy. Take it away.
Thank you, Mandy. At this time, I would like to introduce today's guest speakers, Maria, Howard, and Tony. The floor is yours, Maria and Tony.
Good morning, everybody. Maria Howard here with our Republic Home Protection. As you can see my bio on the screen, in the industry for almost 40 years. Well, no, actually last month was 40 years for me. So
congratulations.
Thank you. Served in many capacities, but nonetheless, I've been very grateful to be part of such a wonderful organization. And thank you so much for allowing us to come and speak to you. So Tony, say a couple things for yourself.
Good morning, everybody. Good to see everybody. Just waiting for the day where we can all get together and I can bring some donuts and coffee. It's Thanksgiving week, so happy Thanksgiving to everybody. Personally, I'm very grateful for this group. Ever since I joined, you have been very welcoming, so thank you. My name is Tony. I'm with Villa Home Inspections. I've been in business for 22 years. I am a licensed general contractor, a certified construction inspector, a building inspector, home inspector. I personally conducted over 8,000 inspections. So today we wanted to touch on a few subjects that I know are very important to realtors, particularly given this market right now. We have a fairly strong market, and so any way that we can be helpful, here we are.
Yes. So one of the things we wanted to talk about is Ask the Pros. Well, of course, is the title. But as you all know, the affiliates you work with make a difference in your transaction. The value and the trustworthiness has to be established immediately, number one, because we know problems occur. So Tony and I dialogued a little bit before this call, and we were discussing what could we be different that we did on our last time Ask the Pros. So we're not going to go completely on home inspections and red flags and etc. But Tony and I decided that this would be a very good topic to talk on, and that is educating your buyer. And here's the reason why. The reason why it's important to educate your buyer is because sometimes the unrealistic expectation of service and delivery is when homeowners, potential new homeowners, get very frustrated and upset. So I remember when I was raising my daughter and we used to go into the market, I would let her know what the expectation was going into the market so she would have less meltdowns in the shopping cart. And those of you who are moms know what I'm talking about. So we're going to talk about, again, educating your buyer. So I'm going to turn this section over to Tony, and I will chime in back and forth. And he's going to talk about what's going on with COVID, how to manage that right now, and educating your buyer as they're looking for properties.
Great. Regarding COVID, as everybody knows, our numbers are going up. Every time you turn on the news, you can't hear anything other than COVID related things right now. And I think our goal as an industry is to not have a complete meltdown and a shutdown like we did back in March. Nobody wants to go through that again. So we're working very hard as an industry to make sure that we adhere to all the COVID requirements and go above and beyond. When we go into a house, particularly on my part, we have all the PPE in the car, and some buyers and some sellers are ask for a little bit more or a little bit less, but at bare minimum, we have masks on. I have N95 masks in the car. I wear gloves. I have booties. On one occasion, if you look at my Instagram, somebody had me wear the full hazmat white suit, and that was real fun. But we're willing to do that if that's what it takes to get your transaction moving and continue moving. So the topic that Maria and I discussed, Maria and I have done several of these talks for real estate offices, for real estate boards. And so we wanted to touch on a subject that I come into a lot, and that is buyers' expectations and buyers' education. I've conducted over 8,000 inspections, and it still surprises me when I get a buyer who calls me and said, "Hey, listen, I got your number from so-and-so, my realtor or a friend or whatever it is. I want to schedule an inspection." I'm like, "Okay, great. And well, we're just going to go looking for houses this weekend." And I'm like, wait, you're not there yet. You need to speak with your agent. You need to go looking for houses. You need to submit offers. You need to open escrow. At that point, you're going to come into, scheduling inspections, appraisals, termite, all of that stuff. But you'd be amazed how many buyers don't know this, particularly first-time home buyers. I can sneeze and scare a first-time home buyer. And it's very important in order to keep your transaction moving smoothly, to set the expectations and set the process with the buyer, and sit them down and describe what I just said. Hey, listen, we're going to go looking for houses. Once we have an offer in, it's accepted, and we negotiate, and we're going to open escrow, then we're going to schedule the inspection. Hey, it's not a new house, even if it's a brand new remodel. It's not a new house. Your inspector's probably going to find some defects with it, and we will talk about those defects when we get to those defects, and we'll work through them. I can't tell you how many times I do my verbal summary at the end of an inspection, and I can see the look on the buyer's face, and it's just they turn pale. And even though I'm very good at presenting the news, because I realize that they are very nervous. I've had a few cases where I frequently reach out both to the buyers and to the agents after my inspection to see, hey, is there anything else I can do? Any questions I can answer? And I'll get a return text message or an email from the buyer saying, we canceled the same day. And I reply, hey, I'm really sorry to hear that. And I reach out to the agent, I'm really sorry to hear that. What happened? They were just a nervous buyer. I had one just recently who they finally closed escrow on their fourth transaction. And when I was there, they were asking me to include in the report every single scratch on a wall, every single crack, every single everything. And I gladly obliged, but it made the transaction that much harder because they had the expectation that every single scratch on the wall needed to be taken care of before they closed escrow. And as you know, as realtors, that the little things, the cosmetic things, typically are not anything that any seller is even going to consider when you present your request for repairs. So again, just getting back to getting the buyer familiar with the process and the expectations. When I present information, it makes it that much easier for you to then sit with them and say, okay, these are big problems. These are not problems. This is, we can address this. I think overall, it'll make everybody's transaction that much smoother.
Yeah. So to touch on the subject that we're on, educating your buyers. So this is what I've been telling my realtors. When you're making an offer and you're going about, I think you should have in your satchel as you're walking through or as you're setting up these appointments, giving the buyer a copy of the home warranty brochure, whoever you're working with, whether it's me or some of the other ladies that are normally on this call, and giving them a brochure. Why? So they can start preparing what kind of an offer they like to present, because we all know that the sellers are the ones that are paid for the home warranty. We want to make sure that the dollars they're requesting is adequate to cover the amenities in the home. I cannot tell you how often, more often than not, I get orders and I will do my research, and I found out that they didn't even check on the RPA that there was an extra refrigerator outside, and especially in these upgraded luxury homes where they have built-in barbecues and the built-in wine cooler and the additional refrigerator outside. It's not even addressed on the RPA. Another one is a pool and spa, not mentioned, not checked. And then the amount of dollars they're requesting is inadequate. So now they have to go back on the table to find out who's going to pay the additional cost. Is that going to be given by the seller, the listing, the selling agent, or is the buyer going to come out of pocket? So again, setting the realistic expectation and giving them the brochure, informing them of what covers in a home warranty. Now, not all the companies were not the same. So whoever you're working with, learn that company, build a relationship and a rapport with that AE, account executive. Number one, because she's the one that's going to guide you through all those nuances and coverages. I have many agents which I have already spoken to and educated to please call me when you're presenting an offer. If you have any doubt of what to cover and not cover, please let me know, because this is what I do best, and this helps you stay out of trouble and frustration and loss of time and aggravation. So I'm going to give you a really cool example of what happened to me 2 days ago. I actually had an agent who called me and said, we put in a claim for a water heater, but the water heater is 10 years old. Okay, my ears stand up. You all know that the longevity of a water heater is typically 10 years to 12, depending on how well they maintain it. So I was perplexed as to why did they not address the age of the water heater during the offer. You could have asked to the seller some dollars towards that, or prepare the buyer that this is a possibility that it could go out shortly thereafter you move in, and therefore now you have to use the home warranty. But if you don't get the higher standard of care and you get the plan that's a step below, some of they're going to have out-of-pocket costs. In this situation, we sent out our tech, the parts were covered. However, they got an outside contractor and their recommendation was to replace the water heater. But that's what was not going to be offered on the coverage. So already, we're already getting into a place of frustration. So I always figured the more information I provide you, the better educated that you can help your buyers. Now, I know your industry has layers upon layers, especially now with the pandemic and COVID and all the new forms and disclosures that you have to cross your T's and dot your I's to stay out of litigation. I understand that. So then you direct those calls and texts and emails to me. I will personally walk the buyer through the information that they need to help them make the best decision for their new future home. So that's the things that I offer. So again, education and knowing the expectation is key to our business.
It's funny you should say that, Maria. I had one just 2 days ago where I got called out. Buyer took possession, closed escrow, took possession, is remodeling, and has a major sewer backup. And so I offered to go out there. I went out there in the evening and met with them. And it turns out my other inspector did the inspection, and we offered to do a sewer line inspection, but they didn't want the sewer line inspection. And it turns out that they had built a bathroom in the garage and then tied the sewer line into the house in a very awkward way. And so it clogged up and there was nothing that we could do. They needed to call somebody. So as I'm leaving, and I went and I checked it out just as a courtesy. As I'm leaving, I hear the agent say, okay, we'll call the insurance company, the warranty company tomorrow morning. And so you're the one who gets a phone call. The realtor got the phone call first of the backup. Then I got the phone call. Then somebody like Maria will be getting the phone call. And it just creates a lot of frustration. I have when I do a confirmation, getting back to the topic of education, when I do a confirmation for an inspection, I'll send out a confirmation email to the realtor, one to the buyer, and one to the listing agent if we have the information for the listing agent. And on the buyer's confirmation, there is a link and it says, here's something you might want to read before your inspection. And it's an article that I wrote, and it's on my blog. If you go on my website, you can see it. It's an article, and it's tips for the buyers regarding the home inspection process. And in there it says, hey, congratulations, you bought your house. Here's what to expect of the home inspection process now. You know, as you start looking for a home inspector, make sure you talk to your home inspector, make sure that you do this, make sure you do that. Leave Uncle Bob at home. Uncle Bob is that well-meaning relative, friend, neighbor who has a little bit of experience in construction of some kind, and shows up to the inspection and follows the inspector around asking questions or trying to prove himself and throughout the whole process. And it complicates the process, and it creates a lot of tension with the buyer, because the buyer will turn and ask the realtor or ask me during the inspection, hey, my friend said this and my friend said that, and then they get really stressed out. Anyways, but getting back to educating the buyers is, you know, letting them know what the process is. And on that blog, it says, at the end of the inspection, we're going to sit with you. Don't fret when you hear, you know, all the negative stuff about the property. We will tell you what's a big problem, what's a little problem. And then once you have all of that information, then you're going to want to sit with your realtor, your trusted realtor who has gotten you this far, and then decide what it is that how you're going to proceed, what it is you're going to ask for and what it's not. But the reason I did that a couple of years ago is because I kept coming into situations where the buyers, particularly first-time home buyers, and with interest rates so low right now, I'm getting almost 90% first-time home buyers. And they get very, very nervous very quickly. And I'm sure you've seen that already. So anything that you can do to ease them through the process and set their expectations beforehand will make your job that much easier, your transaction that much smoother. And we do our part to try to make your transaction as smooth as possible. But sometimes it's like pushing sand uphill when the buyers don't really know what they're getting into, and their expectations are that they're going to buy a brand new house. Yeah.
So you touched on the problem with the sewer outside of the home. So you and I have done this many times, and we have discussed, and I've brought up, most people think that HVAC is the #1 claim in home warranty, when in fact it isn't. The #1 claim is actually plumbing.
Yes.
And one of the things that Tony and I have discussed is when you merit sewer scoping or camera scoping on a home. Remember, you're buying a home that's 40, 50 years old. And if you have a home that sits on a parcel of land that is far back in, and that absorbs 125 feet, and you use a home warranty company that only goes a certain distance because you didn't check what the limitations are, then that might not be covered. And extended pipe leak coverage is definitely an added option. It's not automatic on home warranty companies. You really must look at that. And by doing so, you must know what is the limitations with the home warranty company. Again, understanding the plan and educating your buyer is key in this business. My background as an escrow officer for many, many years doing residential and commercial, those RPAs, there's not suggestions in there. They have now grown over the years. You guys are at 10 pages now. Where I remember when I was an escrow officer, there was only 8 pages. Lawsuits have made these contracts more and more. The same thing with COVID. You have more disclosures. We live in a litigious state. Forms may have to be checked off. Or if it doesn't apply, the proper thing to always put is NA, non-applicable. Why? Because they know you've read it. They can't know that you read something or didn't if you bypass something. The other thing that we always do is to make sure that we order the home warranty as soon as possible. I cannot tell you how often that I get, oh, we're closing tomorrow. I need a home warranty. I thought my TC ordered it. Or you allow an escrow officer to order it and she has not even seen the home, nor have I. So we need you to provide as much information to us. So again, so that we keep you out of hot water. We're getting them the best plan, utilizing the seller's dollars. These are things that are super important. Your timelines are important. I did NHD. Did you know that NHD should be ordering during the listing period? That's essential. Why? Because the mandates are 3 days hand delivery, 5 days by certified mail. Those are all components of your business. And if we're going to be servicing our clients, it's our due diligence to know what we're doing, because we're in a profession that we get educated on, and what we know we pass on to others because we are the trusted resources.
I agree completely, Maria. I think the more that we talk to the buyers and let them know what the process is, again, I keep harping on this, that the easier the transaction. And one of the topics that you and I have touched on in other talks, Maria, is during the home inspection, what some of the red flags are on a home inspection, and as it relates to home warranties and or potential headaches for buyers. I had a buyer who had a 15-year-old water heater, and I called it out in a report. It was working when I was there, but it was still 15 years old. And so what happened is that they closed escrow. The seller shut the gas off on their way out, and so she is reestablishing gas and calls the gas company. A gas company first comes and says, hey, there's a leak, and so you need to fix this leak. And then they come back and they say that there's something wrong with the water heater internally, which is nothing that we could have seen. But we let them know ahead of time, hey, look, you have a 15-year-old water heater here, and the gas company refused to turn it on. Needless to say, we got a plumber out there who's a mutual friend of ours, and he's a stand-up guy. He shows up, looks at it and says, okay, I can fix it, but it's going to cost you about as much as putting a new water heater in. And at this point, she's moved in. She has her family there, her elderly mother and her daughter, and she doesn't want to wait for the process of going through the warranty. And she paid out of pocket something like $1,200 for a new water heater after literally just having moved in. And of course, who got the phone call? The realtor got the phone call first. I got the phone call next. And at some point, I'm sure that somebody like Maria got the phone call last, because I'm sure they still try to submit it to their insurance. One of the things that we talk about a lot in these talks is pointing out the age of these systems. When I say, hey, your water heater is past its useful life, most people will just read past that. Buyers in particular will read past that, knowing that they have a home warranty. And I hear this a lot. Oh, you have a home warranty. Just, it's an older water heater. We'll get you a home warranty. But the reality to that transaction is what I described right now. A buyer moves in. They need their hot water. They need to shower. They need to, especially if they have elderly people at home. When the water heater breaks, it is a issue that they need to deal with now, immediately. And again, the realtor usually gets a phone call first, and then myself, and then the home warranty. And these kind of things need to be pointed out to buyers, even if there's nothing wrong with it. Need to be pointed out to buyers, and they need to make sure that they're included. Like the sewer line one that I just had yesterday, need to make sure that they're included in the home warranty, to make sure that the home warranty will in fact cover that in case something goes wrong. I can go on and on and on for days with examples. So the other big red flag that I see a lot, particularly here in the San Gabriel Valley, we have a lot of anywhere from 1920s to 1950s homes, big pockets of older homes, and I'll go in and see older furnaces. And the old furnace sometimes is still working fine, and that's great. But sometimes I'll find things like rust inside the furnace, and I'll tell them, hey, when you have rust in here, this is a big red flag indicating that you might have a problem with your heat exchanger, and that might be a potential safety problem in the future. And even if it's working fine, what I see a lot is that the home buyers will negotiate a credit with your repair request. They'll negotiate a credit, they'll close escrow, and they'll leave that old furnace in place. They never got around to calling the HVAC person because the credit was negotiated. They close escrow, and now they find themselves with a problem with a furnace. And when they submit that to someone like Maria, they get denied because it was called out that and when a tech shows up and says, hey, this is an old furnace, it has a lot of rust, this is not something that happened after escrow close, this was a pre-existing condition, so we're not going to cover it. And so now the buyer's on the hook for replacing their furnace right after they move in. Yeah. And so even if you negotiate something with the seller, it's helpful to educate the buyer and let them know, hey, please read your home inspection report, pay attention to some of these things that are older systems, and are they in fact going to be covered by the home warranty?
Yeah. And our business, right, Tony, there is a thing called best practices, and it is a essential guideline for us to help us with the timelines, the right questions. And here's the thing, if we don't ask the right question, we're not going to get the right answer. So it's important to ask. Whenever in doubt, reach out to your professionals, ask them the question, especially now with everything that's going on. There's a lot of people that are doing AUDs, little add-ons to the back of their home for grandma or grandpa or el tío or la tía or whoever they need to have come stay with them. And because of the economy and things are going on, so they're kind of downsizing. Those are unusual circumstances. So you must reach out to me and ask me the amenities again, if there's a guest house or casita. So we want to make sure we get the right coverage and the pricing. So I think we're getting pretty close to our time frame, and I want to leave it for some Q&A. Do we have Sandy, any questions on the chat that we need to address? You're muted, Sandy.
And as Sandy looks for these questions, one of the things that I always say in these talks is, please don't hesitate to give me a call. If you're at a house, I get this from my clients because they know that they can, and I mean this, and it doesn't cost you anything. Phone calls are always free. I've had text messages from agents saying, "Hey, I'm looking at this house with this buyer, and here's this electrical panel, or here's this water heater. What do you think?" And they'll send me a picture, and I'll say, "Hey, look, you might want to consider doing this, consider doing that, or ask about this." Or they have a question about ADUs. Hey, do you think we could put an ADU here? What do we need to do? Phone calls are always free. I've been doing this for 22 years. I know the building codes backwards and forwards. Phone calls are always free, even if you end up going with somebody else for a home inspection, which I hope you don't. But phone calls are always free. Don't hesitate.
Go ahead, Sandy.
Maria, I have a question from Frankie. Frankie asked if, let me give a second, okay? Frankie asked if the seller said the water heater is working okay, what can a buyer say and asking for replacement before the escrow, a close of escrow?
Well, here's the thing. On your home inspection, you get all the outline of what the condition of the home is. So let's just say they do a home inspection, which and everything is in good working order, and maybe it's 7, 8 years old, but it's still working. It's been maintained well. Well, here's the thing. Like camera scoping, like sewer scoping, like an HVAC tech, or a plumber, you can actually get somebody outside the home inspector, a tech that will come and review and look in detail as to how that heating system or the water tank has been working. Is there any notable outside types of corrosion? Was there anything that would give you a clue as to that it could be a possible potential thing? Again, you need to hire additional what I call due diligence inspections, and they're they're above and beyond your home inspector.
Thank you, Maria. There's another question from John Rex. Why should I not telling the buyer, don't worry, the home warranty will take care of the problem after?
Because
I'll take this one.
Yeah, go ahead, Tony, take it.
I'll take this one because what I alluded to just a second ago, in most cases, they very well likely cover things. But there are some cases where, like what I just described right now, when you tell a home buyer that don't worry, the home warranty will take care of it. If, in the example of the furnace that I gave right now, if it's an old furnace, and even if it's working when I'm there and I call out rust, or the pictures show rust, it's an old system, or the water heater, it's a 15-year-old water heater. And one of the topics that we didn't even touch on right now is proper installation. If that water heater was installed by the homeowner and it wasn't installed properly, and Maria will jump in right now, there's a very good possibility, regardless of your home warranty is not going to cover it because it was not installed properly to begin with. And I'll call that out during the inspection. But it's very easy to fall into an existing condition on the particular system where the home warranty may not cover it. And like I said, I'm sure that most people here have gotten a phone call from a buyer that has had a problem with their property. And who is the first person they call? They always call you, the realtor, first. And then they'll call me. And so, yeah, that's why I don't recommend it. And I do recommend, like Maria said, check the brochure, make sure that in fact it is covered, or it will be covered in the home warranty, so that the buyer doesn't stress out down the road.
Well, see, here's the thing. What John had alluded in his question, don't worry, the home warranty will cover it. First of all, you have just set up an unrealistic expectations. All insurance companies have exclusions. Your healthcare, your automobile, your house, and your property casualty insurance is not 100% covered. Even your dental and and eyewear. So it's really super important that you set a realistic expectation. Again, educating, uh, letting them know the process, giving them brochures, explaining things, and helping them to reach out to Tony or to myself or to anybody, any of these vendors here that are on this call. They're all very well educated and they know what they're doing. And so again, we are affiliates here servicing the board to provide excellent service, and trustworthiness and integrity is so important in our business.
Thank you. One more question from can your report state in the brochure or report that there is the normal age for the water heater, furnace, and all the caps state you recommend they acknowledge your recommendation?
Tony, I think that's for you.
I'm sorry, I didn't catch I was reading one of the other questions here.
Okay, I read again. Can your report state in the brochure or report that there is a normal age of the water heater, furnace, and all caps state your recommendation, the knowledge of your recommendation?
That's actually a very good idea, and thank you for bringing that up. I do on the report on every system that we can find a tag on. And even if we can't find a tag, what most people don't realize is that all of your systems have tags on them, and they'll have the model number of the water heater or HVAC or whatever it may be. It also has a serial number, and sometimes it doesn't have a date, but sometimes that date is built into the serial number. And so we have all the charts for all the different manufacturers, and we'll look up, okay, the first two letters of this serial number indicate when the unit was manufactured. And we will put that in our report and say, hey, look, it was manufactured your water heater was manufactured in 2002. It's over 15 years old already. You may want to consider, even if it's working, the average lifespan is 10 to 12 years, you may want to consider replacing it, if for nothing else, for energy efficiency. And so we do point that out, but I like your idea of putting something where they need to acknowledge that they read that. So I'll take that into consideration, put that in my reports in the future.
Yes, thank you, Tony. There's a question from Lin Chao. Do you inspect sewer line?
Sewer lines, yes, we do, and I highly recommend it. There are some times, and we've touched on this before, and for the purpose of time, I won't dive too much into it. There are some situations where you should really consider a sewer line. Some of the obvious sewer line inspection, some of the obvious ones are trees, obviously, in the front yard. But even if you have no trees in the front yard, if the distance between the house and the street is very long, and it's an older house, you might want to consider that, because the soil tends to settle over the years, and it will cause, especially older clay pipes, it'll cause clay pipes to either what we call offset, and they'll disconnect like this, or they'll go like this and disconnect. So that's one reason. There's a lot of reasons depending on different locations. San Gabriel Valley has pockets of, as well as like Eagle Rock, Silver Lake, have pocket of expansive soil. And expansive soil tends to push up and down on sewer lines, and it tends to cause damage. So I recommend that they get that. There are a few cases where you really don't need it, and I've had a couple of clients, and I'll look at the house when I get there, and I'll tell them, look, I'll be happy to take your money, but I'm going to be honest, you really don't need it. So if you still want to do it for peace of mind, we'll do it, but you really don't need it in this case.
Only is that extra cost for the sewer line?
Sewer line typically runs between $250 and $275 without the inspection. If you book it with the inspection, it typically runs $225.
Thank you. There's a question from David to Tony. How do you inspect the roof for these days? What if it's a two-story building?
Oh yeah, we take up our drone. I'm in the process of procuring my second drone right now, a really, really nice one. we take the drone up. Barring weather conditions, if we can't get on the roof, sometimes it's not safe to get on the roof. I'll take the drone up. It takes super high definition photos, fly it all the way around the roof, and it's just like being on the roof itself.
Thank you, Tony. There's another question from Frankie. Buyers cannot tell the condition of the roof until raining season. How can buyers protect themselves?
During the home inspection process, the roof obviously is one of the biggest systems. And so we make sure that we do a very thorough inspection of the roof. And there's telltale signs whether, like, it's California, our rainy season is 2 days, realistically. But we get the occasional rainstorms like we had a few years ago that were just horrible, and everybody's roof leaked, even mine. But during the inspection of the roof, we look for telltale signs of places where there's potential for moisture to come through. And then once we're in the attic, yeah, well, really quickly, once we're in the attic, we'll try to confirm whether there's stains, and then we have moisture detection equipment as well if there is an active leak.
Okay, thank you. Thanks, Tony. And that's all for the question. On behalf of the Western Gateway Valley Realtor, we would like to thank you, Maria and Tony. Today is a very great information, and we learn a lot from that. Thank you so much. And
thank you for having us. We really appreciate it. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, and happy Thanksgiving to everybody. Please be safe.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Okay, next attendance drawing. Please type your DRE number, your name, and in the chat box. See who's the lucky one. Kelly Richardson.
Not here.
Okay, next, please.
First $10 for the 3 drawings, okay? Anna. Anna Wu is here. Anna, can you say something or text on the chat box, please? Anna, I have unmuted you. Oh, there she goes. Congratulations. Okay, next one. And please send your email, Anna. Text your email, please, so we can contact you. Thank you.
Karen Chin.
Karen is here. Karen? Okay, somebody's coughing in the back. Okay, Karen, I try to unmute you. Can you text your email, Karen? Karen? Karen, are you here? She's here though. Karen? Haven't seen Karen for a while, but Karen, can you say something? You are muted. Karen? Or can you text?
Karen, are you here?
She says I'm here. Okay.
She's here.
Okay, could you please also text your email for us, please? Thank you. So this will be the last drawing, okay?
Okay.
For November, this will be the last drawing for November. Ami, we know you're here.
Oh, Ami, you're here.
Ami, can you type your email address for us so we have it in record?
He got it.
Sure, I'll do it.
Okay, thank you. Great.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Can I donate it to somebody?
You want to do that? We can do that,
Yeah.
but we have to go back. You can donate it to me.
Okay.
No, I'm just
Yeah.
kidding. Okay, let's Albert, let's start again with the drawing. Thank you. And thank you, Ami, for doing that.
You're very welcome.
John Wag. Oh, no.
Oh, wow, we're Tom. Tom is in.
Tom, are you here?
Tom is here. Tom, here. Tom, please text your email address for staff. There you go. Okay, thank you. Congratulations.
Congratulations. And the drawing is
okay.
Now we move on to the education classes. Please to make sure to participate in our education class. A list is upcoming class is displayed on the screen. Hello, okay, now webinar. Okay, we lost. Okay, our webinar class license renewed DRE 45-hour continuing education. Friday, November 20th, 2020, 9:30 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. Cost is $85. The next class is virtual zip form plus training. Monday, November 23rd, 2020, 9:30 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. The cost is free. Next, please. Thank you everyone for joining us. Our meeting today. We will hope to see you next week when we will be having our office meeting. Okay, our next speaker will be Lisa, Vice President of Particular California Association of Realtors. Reminder, we will not be a breakfast meeting next week in observe of Thanksgiving holiday. Have a safe and happy holiday. The sample program chair will be Giuseppe Beninicia. Please support our Viciano. Sorry. Please support our affiliate with our transactions. The meeting is now adjourned. Thank you all and happy Thanksgiving. Okay.